Is she the biggest draw in women's tennis right now?
Yes.
Is she bigger than Sabalenka? Is she bigger than Coco?
Dude, it's crazy. She's having the same effect that Fonseca was having, like, on the men's side last year in Miami.
It's like Fonseca, but I think it's bigger than Fonseca.
It is, yeah, it is.
Like, the Doha, like, crowds were insane for her last week.
Yeah.
Correct.
She's definitely one to watch, obviously because she's so good, but just for the atmosphere. You want to tune into her matches just to see what it's like on the court.
There's got to be, like, a little jealousy maybe from some of the women. That girls coming in, she's not top 10, biggest.
Sam Querrey is stirring things up right now. And when someone like Sam Querrey opens his mouth, the tennis world stops and listens. This is not just another commentator throwing opinions around on the internet. This is a man who spent years competing at the highest level of professional tennis, who understands the sport from the inside out, and who knows firsthand what genuine star power looks like when it walks into a room. And right now, Querrey has his gaze fixed on one person, and that person is Alex Eala, and he is declaring without a single moment of hesitation that she has become the most magnetic attraction heading into the upcoming WTA tournaments, not one of the most magnetic, not among the most compelling, the most magnetic, period. And Querrey is not voicing this softly either. He is not muttering it under his breath, hoping it slips by unnoticed. He is placing it on the table in front of everybody and inviting anyone to challenge it, proclaiming that Eala has ascended to a level of drawing power that elevates her above the entire field in terms of the excitement, anticipation, and electricity she produces every single time she steps onto a court. And if that was not already audacious enough, Querrey and the collection of analysts gathering around this conversation are pushing it one step further, asserting that Eala is on a path to surpass even Aryna Sabalenka herself when it comes to capturing people's attention, and consider what that means for a moment, because Sabalenka is the world number one, a multiple Grand Slam champion, one of the most dominant and recognizable figures in the sport right now, and yet these experts are surveying the landscape and arriving at the conclusion that when it comes to filling arenas, igniting that electric atmosphere, and compelling people to feel like they absolutely cannot afford to miss a match, Alex Eala is already accomplishing it at a superior level.
If he wins a slam, it would be like one of the biggest things in the world.
Yeah, correct.
She's definitely one to watch, obviously because she's so good, but just for the atmosphere. You want to tune into her matches just to see what it's like on the court.
There's got to be, like, a little jealousy maybe from some of the other.
Querrey's case is not rooted in guesswork or wishful thinking. It is grounded in what is genuinely unfolding at these competitions right now, and the statistics do not deceive, the audiences do not deceive, because when Alex Eala is scheduled to compete, something shifts, something changes in the atmosphere, and people who had zero intention of attending suddenly discover themselves scrambling for tickets, and people who already secured tickets find themselves discussing the match days beforehand, and supporters journey from remarkable distances, from across continents, from the opposite side of the globe, simply to be inside the same arena as this young woman from the Philippines and witness her perform. The magnitude of attention she commands on a court is not something that can be manufactured or imitated, it is entirely organic, and Querrey is stating very plainly that none of the highest-ranked players on the tour at this moment, including the world number one herself, are producing that kind of magnetism in the same fashion. He even ventured as far as suggesting that some of the top 10 players on the WTA Tour might be observing the scenes surrounding Eala and experiencing a certain kind of feeling about it, and he is referring to players like Sabalenka, women who have dedicated their entire existence to reaching the summit of the sport, women who have captured the grandest titles the game has to offer, and implying that the tidal wave of fascination following Eala everywhere might be something they have taken notice of and cannot comfortably brush aside. That is a considerable thing to declare, and Querrey declared it regardless because that is the reality of what is currently unraveling in the tennis world.
Biggest draw in women's tennis right now.
Yes.
Is she bigger than Sabalenka? Is she bigger than Coco?
Dude, it's crazy. She's having the same effect that Fonseca was having, like, on the men's side last year in Miami.
It's like Fonseca, but I think it's bigger than Fonseca.
It is, yeah, it is.
Like, the Doha, like, crowds were insane for her.
The wider circle of analysts surrounding this conversation are pushing it even further when it comes to what Eala could accomplish this year, and they are throwing their full weight behind her following the enormous surge she has made in the rankings, arguing that if Alex Eala ends up capturing a Grand Slam in 2025, it would represent the single greatest moment in professional tennis in recent memory. Not just for the Philippines, not just for Asian tennis, but for the entire sport on a global scale, and they are saying it would be remembered for years and years to come, the kind of milestone that rewrites narratives and creates an entirely new generation of supporters who point to that moment and say that is when everything changed. That is a monumental statement, and the fact that respected voices in the tennis world are making it tells you everything about how seriously people are treating Eala's potential right now. And here is where the story becomes even more compelling because it is not only the analysts and commentators driving this conversation, the players themselves are stepping forward, and Jessica Pegula, one of the premier competitors on the WTA Tour and someone with years of experience at the highest level of the game, came forward with an account of what she personally encountered when she faced Eala at the Miami Open last year, and what she described was remarkable, because Pegula said she walked into that match and was genuinely astonished by what greeted her. She had not anticipated it. She had not braced herself for the atmosphere that was waiting inside that venue. The energy was electric, the crowd was enormous, passionate, impossibly loud, and completely consumed by every single point, and Pegula said it was insane, and she meant every word of that in the most admiring way possible. She was not there to voice grievances about it. She was marveling at it. She was standing inside that atmosphere and recognizing that she was witnessing something genuinely extraordinary. And Pegula was very deliberate in what she went on to say, pointing out that whether it was Miami, the Australian Open, or Dubai, Alex Eala has consistently drawn the largest crowd support of any player on the entire tour, and people show up for her in numbers that no other player is generating right now. People travel for her. People wait in lines that stretch far beyond what any ordinary match would produce just for the opportunity to be inside the stadium and watch her compete. And that kind of magnetism is extraordinarily rare. That kind of deep, genuine, emotionally invested bond between a player and a fan base is something that tennis as a sport has been attempting to cultivate in new markets for years, and here is Alex Eala already delivering it without any manufactured campaign behind it, purely through the force of her talent, her personality, and the power of her story.
She, has done well and established herself as a really good player on tour. They all come out to support her, and so I think we saw that in Australia when it was kind of overcrowded. They put her on a too small of a.
And then Novak Djokovic added his voice to everything that was already being said, a man with more Grand Slam titles than anyone else in the history of the sport, a man who has experienced professional tennis at every conceivable level for over 2 decades, and Djokovic stepped forward and called Alex Eala the greatest tennis player the Philippines has ever produced, saying she deserves every bit of respect and recognition the sport can offer, and he specifically spoke about the way her scheduling and court assignments have been managed at various tournaments, making it clear that he believes the situation surrounding her has not always been handled in a manner that reflects her actual status and drawing power. When Djokovic says something like that, the entire tennis world takes notice, because this is no longer just supporters making noise. This is the greatest of all time standing up and declaring that Alex Eala deserves better and that the sport needs to treat her accordingly. And in his own words, he acknowledged that it has been a topic of conversation, which is understandable, noting that she is coming from the Philippines, which has now become a significant force, that she has become the biggest tennis player that country has ever produced, that it is a large nation with enormous interest in her, and that things like that naturally generate attention. And while one could argue the scheduling was perhaps not ideal and that she could have been placed on a bigger court, she is still so young and only just beginning to announce herself to the world. So the analysts are now drawing all of these threads together and arriving at one clear conclusion, that in terms of raw drawing power, in terms of the sheer volume of people Alex Eala attracts from every corner of the globe, she is operating at a level that even Aryna Sabalenka has not matched, and nobody is diminishing what Sabalenka has accomplished inside the lines because she is a champion of the highest order. But the analysts are drawing a distinction between winning titles and possessing the kind of cultural and commercial impact that transforms a sport and opens it up to entirely new audiences, and on that measure they are saying Alex Eala stands alone right now. Sam Querrey initiated this conversation, but it has grown far beyond one man's opinion, because the players are saying it, the legends are saying it, the experts are saying it, and the crowd showing up everywhere Alex Eala competes are saying it louder than anyone. The biggest draw in tennis, that is what she has become, and everything unfolding around her right now suggests that this is only the beginning.